Grenada receives further assistance in the fight against COVID-19. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. Details to the news for Wednesday, October 6, 2021. I am Chrisanne Mitchell. 3 critical care specialists are currently on island assisting the Ministry of Health in its continued fight against COVID-19. 2 doctors and 1 nurse from Nicaragua and Mexico are lending their expertise at the critical care ward at the General Hospital. There are currently 8 physicians and 4 nurses on island from the United States of America, Nicaragua, and Mexico. The team's visit is as a result of the request by Minister for Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele, to the Pan American Health Organization for support during this period. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell recently appealed to Grenadian medical professionals in the diaspora to return to assist doctors and nurses here in the fight against the virus, and a number of Grenadians have already visited the island to lend their assistance. Latest statistics from the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 dashboard point to more encouraging numbers. There are 4,622 recoveries, with 111 recorded on Tuesday. 497 COVID tests were conducted and 50 positive cases were recorded. The government of Grenada is providing clarity on the newly designated holding facility established in Montrouge. The facility, located on a compound that has been used to house persons in quarantine and isolation since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, is now known as the Grand Anse Prisons and Lockups, as outlined in the Statutory Rules and Orders number 39 of 2021. It is a temporary measure designed to reduce the potential spread of COVID-19 at Her Majesty's Prison. In response to media queries on Wednesday, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin said the facility may never even be used for its designated purpose. However, he explained that before housing a prisoner in any facility, it must be appropriately designated.
To legally hold persons in such a facility, the facility has to be designated for the purposes intended. For if someone is held in any facility not so designated, we can have legal challenges if anything happens to those individuals. Additionally, the fact is Her Majesty's Prison has made adjustments in-house in its own facility to currently isolate a limited number of such persons. Therefore, this mechanism is a redundancy measure in case Her Majesty's Prison isolation facility becomes filled.
Further explaining the forward-thinking measure, the Commissioner confirmed that there are no prisoners in the temporary facility at present, as the in-house isolation facility at Richmond Hill is currently sufficient.
Currently, there is no one at the facility, and there is no one that I am aware of designated to be placed in the facility. I am confident that once our current rate of community spread is brought under control and the positivity rate is reduced, that this measure will be rescinded. I would just like to remind you that the said facility or compound of the said facility has been used as a quarantine/isolation area since 2020 last year when we started isolating persons.
He is optimistic that once the current level of community spread is reduced, this measure will be rescinded. Grenadians are being urged to guard against complacency as the country experiences a decline in the number of active COVID-19 cases. Exceeding 5,000 active cases at one point, the country's total number of active cases is now under 700, and the number of new cases identified daily has been less than 100 for the past few days. The positive trend in the statistics and the ongoing need to balance lives and livelihoods has led government to make some adjustments to the COVID-19 regulations. However, Prime Minister and Minister for National Security, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, is encouraging the population not to allow complacency to undermine the gains made. Acknowledging that the past few weeks could be recorded as one of the darkest periods in the country's history, Dr. Mitchell expressed confidence in the resilience of Grenadians.
These unprecedented times require equally extraordinary fortitude. For individuals and organizations alike, it is not a period for the faint of heart. But we have persevered thus far, and I must reiterate the need for us to continue working collaboratively as a nation in the interests of all our people. It is imperative that we join hands regardless of our political, religious, or other affiliation. That said, we must guard against complacency being allowed to undermine the gains made. The reduction in active cases have motivated us to become even more cognizant of the protocols, ensuring that we safeguard ourselves and our loved ones as we seek a return to some sense of normalcy.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Government, private sector, civil society, academia, farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, invites you to World Food Day 2021, the virtual edition, under the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life. Join us October 15 from 9:30 a.m. via Zoom, Facebook, GIS, and Real FM as we recognize and celebrate the many successes of the agriculture sector.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information will host a series of webinars to educate and guide parents as they support their children during this period of online learning. With schools closed to prevent the spread of COVID-19, teachers have been utilizing online platforms to assist with remote learning. The ministry has also distributed e-learning devices to students from kindergarten to grade 5 at the primary level and from forms 1 to 5 at the secondary level. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Kevin Andold, told GIS the sessions will cover various topics including how to care for devices, remote learning, and keeping a balance during COVID-19, among others.
We'll be having experts in the area, people who are expert in psychosocial and also in education using alternative means, that is digital education. So we will be having experts in those areas to speak to that. We are also going to look at not only remote learning, the device, but the apps on the devices. There are a wide range of apps that are on the devices that will be used by the students in their direct learning and can be used as support materials or support medium to assist in the learning. For example, we have apps like Khan Academy Kids, Khan Academy. We have the Remind app, which is a communication app. We have Microsoft Teams. We have Zoom. We have a wide range of apps that can be used by the teachers and also by parents at home to support learning.
The webinar will be held every Sunday at 5 p.m. via Zoom and will be broadcast live on GIS, YouTube, and Facebook pages, and also on the Ministry of Education's Facebook page.
The Zoom would only accommodate 300 participants. However, it will be broadcast live. So parents who cannot log in so that they can interact with the Zoom can also interact with the material via Facebook Live. It would be on GIS and all the other platforms that GIS uses to broadcast their materials.
Finally, in the news, despite the shortfall in revenue due to the severe global impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, government continues to place priority on projects around the island. It is currently investing in the rehabilitation of the Mount Hartman Byroad in the south of the island, where work is almost completed. GIS visited the project site and spoke with Supervisor Chris Joseph, who gave an overview of the conditions of the area and the scope of work that his team is carrying out.
It was really bad. Vehicles could have hardly come up here because you had stone, all the water was in the middle of the road. Then we came, we graded, we backfill. We're doing 358 feet of road and 358 feet of drain. That's slipper drain. It started approximately 3 weeks now, but we have a slight delay due to the weather and the COVID-19. We have a slight delay in process. But as far as you can see, we are about 50-60% completion. That's the last piece we're about to do now.
That story has ended the national report for Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. On behalf of the entire news and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Kristen Mitchell saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.